Hello, boys and girls. Today we're going to start a landscape that I'm really excited about. It has some perspective, which means it's going to look kind of like the farm is back into space, not space like planets, but back in the distance on the horizon. So today you're going to need a white piece of paper. We're going to be working with it horizontally, side to side. You're also going to need crayons. And so let's get started. Start with your black crayon. You know, it's one of my favorites. And the first thing we're going to draw is we're going to draw a horizon line, but we're going to do it a little bit closer to the top of the page. Not too close because you want to have space for your barn. So I'm going to come down about 4 fingers, and I'm going to put a dot on this side. And then I'm going to do the same over here, so I know where I'm going. Now, my line doesn't have to be perfectly straight. It could be a little tiny bit curvy. But basically, you're going to go from one side of the paper all the way to the other. All right? After you have that done, you're going to decide where you want your barn. Usually, in composition for artists, we like to offset things. Things that are right in the middle don't appeal to our eye as much as if it's just to the left or just to the right. So decide that, and let's put a dot at the very top of the page. That's going to be where your barn, the roof ends up. So we're going to start with the roof, and we're going to make a very angled triangle. So this is going to be looking just like that. Once you have that done, you can come to the corners and go in just a tiny bit, and you're going to draw down the sides of your barn. To make this look more like a barn, we're going to put a big barn door right here, right on the front, and we're going to put an X right there on the front of the barn. Now, if you would also like to put a hay door, they go right here. Oftentimes, farmers will store their hay in the top part of their barn to keep it out of the weather so it stays dry for the winter. And we can go ahead and put an X on that as well. Okay. So now we've got our barn. We're going to work on our field. So our field is a bit interesting, okay? We now have our barn here on our picture, and so our field from the barn is going to come straight out. So where you drew your door, can you just extend those 2 lines straight down, all the way to the bottom of your page, okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and grab my ruler because I want you to see how I'm going to tilt, because these lines that are going on this side are gradually going to get a little bit angled. All right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I don't want my rows any more narrow than this ruler. So this ruler takes up that much space. I want my rows in my field to be almost that space. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my ruler right here on the edge of my door, and I'm going to push with 1 finger. And down here, I'm going to make 1 finger space. So what that's going to do is it's going to angle our line just a little bit. So 1 finger space here, and it's matched up over there. On this side of the ruler now, I'm going to go from the horizon line all the way down to the bottom. Just like that. Okay? So it's just slightly angled. This time again, I'm going to put my ruler right on that dot where my line touched, and I'm going to push, and down here, I'm going to do a finger space. Okay? And I'm going to hold my ruler in place nice and tight. Start here, come down to the edge. Do you see how it's slowly getting lines away? Okay, again, I'm going to put my ruler right here, give it a push, come down to the bottom, and this time I'm going to do a little bit more than 1 finger space. So if I'm going to do 2, okay? Hold my ruler in place, draw my line. At any time, if you need to pause the video, definitely do that. If you need to start over, do that too. This is a rough draft if you want it to be. Okay, so line this up, give it a push, 2 finger spaces down here. Now I'm in the corner. Still, I want 2 finger spaces between my ruler. Hold my ruler down nice and tight and draw the line. I should have enough room to do 1 more. So push it nice and tight. Oh, no, I'm not. It would fall off it would be right there at the edge. So that's it for that side. Awesome work, everybody. Now we're going to work on this side, and it's going to be the exact opposite this time. So I'm going to have my ruler, the space is going to be on the left side. I'm going to put it right here on this door. I'm going to push. I'm going to put 1 finger space down here at the bottom. I'm going to hold my ruler tight, and this time it feels weird to me because I'm holding it with my left hand and I'm kind of crossing over. You might need an adult to help you with that part, okay? And I think that is all of the lines we're going to get. Yeah. Okay. So our field is now drawn, and now we're going to add a silo. A silo is something, it's a building that is round that farmers use to hold grain. So pick a side for your silo, doesn't matter which one. And at the very top of your paper, I want you to do a curved line that goes off the edge of your paper. Okay? So the top of my curve would be up here above. Then we're going to close that line with a smile line. I'm going to drop down, and I'm going to do another smile line. And I'm going to drop all the way down this time on my silo. And I think I'm going to add a ladder. Sometimes you'll see silos that have ladders. So from here, I'm going to come down, and I'm going to come down again, and I'm going to do some straight across, keeping those the same all the way up to the top. Cool. On this side, I think I'm going to add a bale of hay. So to do this, I am going to draw a curved line, and I'm going to draw another curved line just a little ways away, and I'm going to draw a straight line to connect those two. Now I'm going to see this part of the thing, so this time I'm going to do a curved line the other way. And now I have a bale of hay, and I can add a little bit of texture to that if I want, because hay has some texture to it. Don't add too much because we are going to color this later. Okay? So for today, you have already created a barn, a silo, hay, and your field. The last thing we're going to do before we move on to our next is a circle, a half circle, a partial circle, a quarter circle over here. And this is going to be the sun, okay? And so the rays of the sun are going to, you guessed it, come out across the sky. You guys love to do this in your artwork. I see it all the time, okay? So something we're going to learn is how to continue this. So when you have things in your way and you're drawing a line, You can lift up, but you continue drawing the line in the air so you know where it's going to hit the next time, and then you put your pencil or your crayon down. Okay, so mine would keep coming over. It's not going to hit anywhere else. So now I've got this one. I'm going to go in the air, pretending. I'm going to continue in the air. Oh, I can actually draw, and I'm going to continue. Where would it go? And I'm going to continue that across the sky. Okay, so this is it for today. Make sure before you finish art for today that you have a nice rough draft or a final draft, whichever one you're using, finished. That looks like this before art tomorrow. See ya.